Good evening and welcome here to Bellevue, the home of the Super League outfit Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. We're here this evening for the Wakefield Amateur Rugby League Build-Based Cup final between Crofton Cougars and Sharlston Rovers A. In a short while, the teams will come out here onto this sacred turf to do battle to lift this prestigious trophy. And it's graced the presence of many a local heroes such as Herbert Goodfellow, Neil and Don Fox, and David Topless. So just exactly what does it mean to these two teams to lift this trophy here this evening? OK, here with me is John Brewerton, the coach of Sharlston Rovers A. John, the team since their induction in 2002 have steadily improved. They took the CMS Yorkshire League Division 3 title last year. You're in with a chance of promotion in the Pennine League this year, and you've got through to tonight's final, so you must be extremely proud of your players.
Yeah, they've really worked hard. When we first started, the idea was just to get a team on the park. Kids that couldn't get in first team, wanted them to play rugby, all local lads. And we struggled at first, and we gradually got better and better. And they've really put the effort in this last 2 years. They've worked really hard, and they deserve everything they get. And tonight's testimony to their hard work, really. I mean, we've 18 or 20 players at every training session. And I've never known that from any club. You know, the kids, they just want to work, they want to learn, they want to play, and they're all enjoying it. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we know we're not a first team, we're a second team. We're there to help our first team. If they need players, they want them match fit and they want them ready to play, and that's what we're all about. But among themselves, they've worked hard for games like this. They deserve it.
Captain Tony Palmer, vastly experienced, a real Sharlston lad through and through. What sort of influence does Tony have on the boys?
He's one of those captains that leads from. He don't lead by what he says. It's what he does. He's on field. He's non-stop, 80 minutes, tackling, running. He just never stops. He's awesome, really. Kids follow him. They see what he's doing and think, like, well, if he can do it, I should be able to do some of that.
You've got a good blend of youth with experience in the side tonight, but the form man is young Ben Grundy, top try scorer, in good form with the boot, so you must be looking for a big game from him.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's only just joined us at back end of last season, played a couple of games, and this season he's really come to the fore. Played most of the season with us, he's just breaking into the first team now. I know people are looking at him. He's a quality player, he's one for the future, and he's the kind of player you build a club around.
The success of the second string, if you like, is proving that the whole structure of the club is strong, and that there's a sound base of players pushing through for first team places. It's obviously a good time for the club as a whole, isn't it?
I think it is. I mean, the first team's been very successful over the last 5 years. Obviously they've won the Yorkshire Cup last season. They just missed out on the league. They won a couple of other cups. They're looking like winning their league this year. We're following on from their success in their slipstream, as it were. You see what they've achieved, and we know we can do it. We help them out. We train together most of the time, and our lads don't look out of place. You know, there's a lot of our players would walk into most first teams.
Let's just hope then, for Sharlston Rovers and the club as a whole, that you put in another trophy in the cabinet tonight. Yeah. Thanks very much, John. Cheers.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Cheers.
With me right now is Crofton Cougars player coach Stu Moran. Stu, CMS Yorkshire League Division 2 winners, and you're here tonight for the first major final since the mid-90s. What's the feeling within the team right now?
The team's buzzing, like they're up for it. They're wanting to win this as well as the league light, so hopefully we can take it from there tonight and get another trophy in cabinet. What can I say? They're up for it, like I say. All buzzing, changing rooms buzzing. Told them to focus on game at the end of the day, and I hope they do well.
Obviously 15 years with Westgate Red Out, a Yorkshire Cup winner in 92. You're very used to the big game atmosphere, and it's obvious to me that with the success you've had, the lads must be responding to some of the coaching techniques that you've put over to them.
It's my first season coaching. I got invited down by the chairman. They've all responded to me very well. At first I didn't think they'd take to me, but they've come good and they're all up for it.
Just looking at the side and obviously reading some of the notes in the programme, it's quite obvious to me that you've got quite a few potential match winners in there.
Well, there's one for what stands out for me. Obviously used to playing full back. He's playing full back tonight is Jeff Hicks. Anywhere on the field, brilliant lad. Same with young Story at 7. Brilliant lad. reminds me of Rob Burrows, who's very nippy. And there's a couple of centres here, young lads. It's just, they're all up for it. They love it. Let's hope we can get into the final. Get into winning it.
Into winning it, yeah. I think the occasion getting to you, Stuart, then. There seems to be at Crofton a lot of people working hard behind the scenes to make the club a success, and what would it mean to them, you know, for yourself and the team to lift this trophy this evening?
Oh, I mean, well, to I mean, like I said, 90s, last time they lifted a trophy. There's, I like to, chairman, brilliant lad, does a lot of work. Wayne Jones has done a lot of work, and committee Pete Story, his son's playing tonight. Obviously wanted to play tonight, but lack of training, he got picked. But they're up for it. We've had 20 odd people training. We're training last night, just had a quick hour, and they were all committee watching there. And I like to thank them all for supporting me, and all being well, I'm here next year to take them even further to the next division.
Well, like I said to the previous coach, you know, the best team on the night I'm sure will win, and I'm sure that Crofton will be looking forward to putting maybe a trophy in the cabinet this evening. Yes. OK, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Just behind me we have the two teams warming up for this Build Base Cup final. It's in its fourth year at the present format. It was the brainchild of late Jack Thompson, who did an absolutely tremendous amount of work for the amateur game of rugby league football. Ironically, here at Bellevue in 1929, New Sharlston Colliery were the first winners of this trophy. Will it be Sharlston this evening that take the spoils, or will Crofton show off the trophy to their loyal band of supporters? Whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that it will be a classic encounter of amateur rugby league football. As the two teams then are introduced to the dignitaries for today, the teams are Crofton Cougars, number 1 Jeff Hick, number 2 Richard Evans, 3 Paul Tinsley, 4 Craig Hutchinson, 5 Adam Morley, the halfbacks Sean Alexander and Chris Story at 7, at 8 Lee Garside, 9 Stuart Moran, 10 Neil Longstaff, 11 Chris Bingham, who is the captain, 12 Paul Woodcock, 13 Steve Holt, and the substitutes 14 Greg Dickey, 15 James Bell, 16 Chris Davis and 17 Matthew Andrews. The Sharlston Rovers side for this evening is number 1 Nathan Collinson, number 2 Simon Revell, 3 Ben Grundy, 4 Robert Simpson, 5 James Heath, and the halfback 6 McHaig and 7 Phil Hill. The forwards at number 8 Richard Pager, 9 Phil Golek, at number 10 and captain is Tony Palmer, 11 is Gareth Greenbank, 12 Ian Goodfellow, 13 Stan Smith, and the substitutes for Sharlston 14 Carl Wormold, 15 Gary Cross, 16 Lee Kelly and 17 Jamie Lawson. The referee is Mr. Stephen Greenhaig, and the touch judges Mr. Barry Crossland and Mr. Philip Booth. The game will shortly get underway, and I don't think there'll be any love lost between these two local rivals this evening. It's a fantastic night here at Bellevue, Wakefield. Must be a great occasion for these players to play on such a surface, and it's just reward for all their efforts that they've put in all season to play on a professional ground. So the Build Base Cup final gets underway, and Philip Hill takes, and that's a great run by Richard Pager, and that's a scoot off from acting halfback, but Paul Tinsley was well in at the tackle there, ably assisted by Sean Alexander. He seems to be in the thick of things at the minute, does Tinsley. And that's Grundy. Big things expected of Ben Grundy this afternoon. He's the leading try scorer for Sharlston. That's a good hit by Lee Garside there. And that's Phil Hill kicking the ball deep down into Crofton territory. And that's Jeff Hick who picks up. And according to Stu Moran, he's one of the live wires of the Crofton side. Offloading the tackle there. And carried on by Stu Moran. And that's the first penalty of this evening's play for holding down. And the kick's gone into touch. So Crofton will have the ball inside the Sharlston half. And they're going to pose the first threat of this evening's game from about 40 metres out. Stu Moran said that his team were focused, and John Brewerton said that his team were ready and fired up and ready for this final. And that just goes to show there that the two props are first into the tackle, with Goodfellow ably assisting. It's a big drive from Neil Longstaff, gets Crofton to within 20 metres. And that's Chris Story, a little show and go, but what an hit by Stan Smith. Very experienced player, Stan Smith. Didn't take the dummy, just took the man clean out of the game. That's a great tackle. And Crofton very close there. They're about 3 metres from the Sharlston line. Craig Hutchinson it was, and then this is the big number 5, but it's great scrambling defence from Sharlston. So that's Hick, little kick through, picked up. Yes, and I think the referee's perhaps right there. The Sharlston player was slightly in front, so he was offside. What will Crofton do here? Will they opt to keep the pressure on Sharlston, or will they have a stab at goal? It looks like they're going to keep the pressure on. And that's Adam Morley, just to the right-hand side of the post, about 2 metres out. The big fella, Garside, looking to come onto it. Used him as a foil and tried to blag his way over there, but Sharlston defence weren't having anything of it. A show and go from Sean Alexander. It's good defence at the minute from Sharlston. So the ball is quickly moved to Moran. Moran then, that's a little bit of an error there from Neil Longstaff, and Sharlston have picked the ball up and they've got it onto the 20-metre line through Gareth Greenbank. But that's strong tackling from Crofton. This is Phil Golek taking a dart from acting half-back. And Nathan Collinson just brings Sharlston up to 40 metres. And Tony Palmer, the captain, just offloads there to Phil Hill. Phil Hill gets the ball away in the tackle. And again, Sharlston not frightened to let the ball flow and offload in the tackle. And that was Robert Simpson. And Phil Hill there puts the ball high as Hick comes across and takes it quite well. But it looks as if Phil Hill was taken out there just as he made contact with the football. Yep, I think that's the decision that the referee's given. Phil Hill was taken out as he struck the ball. So Ben Grundy, top point scorer, I believe, for the second string here at Sharlston. Left-footed kicker. Looks nice and composed. Strikes it, and it goes straight through the middle of the sticks. And Sharlston take an early lead. It's always nice to get the first points on the board. Crofton did have a chance to have a shot at goal at this bottom end and opted to keep the pressure on. Sharlston obviously taking the 2 points, and well struck conversion it was too. Richard Pager knows only one way to go, and that's straight forward, but equally met there by Tinsley. And he's in at the tackle again. So Golek fires the ball out to Greenbank. 30 metres out. Palmer looking to set the platform and set the example for his players to follow. Golek once more opts to go right hand side. It's a nice scampering move from Golek, just bringing Sharlston to within a couple of metres of the halfway line. Hill it is that's in at acting half-back. Phil Hill just pops the ball up the field, and he finds touch some 5 or 6 metres short of the Crofton line. It's a great kick from Philip Hill, and that's always appreciated by the forwards. It's yardage that they don't have to work hard for, but it obviously puts Crofton way back inside their own 20-metre line. And that's Stephen Holt who picks up. Prolific try scorer for Crofton this year. Been one of their standout forwards. And that's another small dash from acting half-back, just trying to catch the markers asleep. But Sharlston seem keen and up for it. And Page is in with Golek. And this is Hick. Quite a dangerous free-running fullback. Story then. And that's good quick hands from Crofton as they try and break down Sharlston's right. And the referee has seen something in there. A penalty kick to Crofton. It's looking like offside to me. So Hick just puts the ball casually into touch, just making sure. Chris Bingham, the Crofton captain, having a tilt. And now Garside just inside the Sharlston 20-metre line. What can Crofton do here, if anything? So the two half-backs look to do a run round, and it was Alexander that took the ball forward, but well met by Stan Smith and Palmer. And this is young Chris Story. A lot of speculation about Chris Story being able to go a long way in the game. We'll just see how that pans out during the course of the game. It's Garside just looking to try and free the ball, but well clamped by Palmer and Greenbank. Moran looks to kick through. It's still on the fifth and last tackle. This is Hick. Hick throws a long ball out. Another kick and taken on the full, so it will be a 20-metre restart for Sharlston. Looked, with all intents and purposes there, that the wingman was a little bit surprised to see the ball in his hands and just a little bit of a panic kick. And it's just not what Crofton wanted at that particular time. They needed to put pressure and perhaps try for a repeat set, but it just didn't work. The ball was caught by Goodfella over his own line and giving Sharlston a breather. And that's James Heath coming in off the wing just to spell his forwards as Palmer goes forward, and he has support from Stan Smith but doesn't use him on that occasion. Golek just looking up and scanning it from acting half-back and fires the ball out. And this is Goodfella. Goodfella just gets over halfway, but well tackled by Sean Alexander. He's been in things. And that's McCaig. McCaig having a nice run. Shipped it on to Heath. And that's Phil Hill. Just Phil Hill Putting it over to the Crofton wingman. They felt that possibly there was a small weakness over there, but the kick was just a little bit too long, and so Crofton will have the restart on the 20. Not a great deal between the sides at the moment. Both defences seem to be well on top, and that's Bingham again. Again, the captain from Crofton, just like Palmer, setting the example and setting the platform to work off. And this is Holt. There's always looks of danger when Steve Holt gets the ball. Good free running loose forward. As it said in the programme, in the twilight of his career. Sean Alexander offloads to Moran. Moran, this guy with bags of experience from Westgate Redout and a Yorkshire Cup winner in '92, and that's Hick that passes on to Neil Longstaff, and Longstaff a great run. And this is a better passage of play from Crofton as Story just dabs it over the top, and that's well picked up by Simon Revell. And just a lazy grab there by Garside, almost a head-eye shot. Golek then. Golek from acting half-back. Really well crunched by Bingham, the Crofton captain. And Phil Golek didn't like that and stood up to him as Pager drives it forward. Pager, one of the pick of the Sharlston forwards at the minute. Tony Palmer a little bit surprised to have that ball in his grasp. And Golek again to Hill. Hill trying to get the ball upfield and give his forwards a breather. But Crofton again caught too keen and eager to get into the faces of the Sharlston attackers. And the referee has once again caught them offside. So Sharlston with the wind in the faces will probably only drift the ball no more than 10 metres, I wouldn't have thought. No, there you go. It's better to be safe than sorry. Make your touch and settle and start again. So Golek then will be restarting. Tremendous tackle from Bingham. He's been in everything defensively. And Robert Simpson standing up in the tackle, but unceremoniously put to the ground by Bingham and Tinsley as Palmer just drops back inside. The ball went backwards and Richard Pager was on hand just to tidy things up. Golek scooting off from acting halfback, almost caught Crofton asleep, but who was that again? It was Bingham as Hill looks to get Stan Smith on a little drop-off move, but Stan unable to hold the ball, and therefore Crofton Cougars can relax as they come to this scrum, and they can bring things away from their own line. Still only those 2 points to show on the scoreboard. Excellent kick from Ben Grundy. And this is Hick. Hick stops, turns inside. He is a bit of a live wire, is this lad. Seems to like to get involved in the game. And that's Craig Hutchinson. Hutchinson looking to play the ball really quickly. Moran to Story. Story to Longstaff. Sorry, Garside. Beg your pardon, it was. Moran once again. This is Longstaff this time. But that's a great tackle. It's a low tackle by Greenbank, and it put Longstaff straight down as they attack the short side. Story a little dink over the top. And chased his kick really, really well and put some pressure on the Sharlston receiver, which I believe was Collinson. And Collinson, in trying to get hold of the ball, knocked on. So Crofton have got head and feet at this scrum. Can they put some pressure onto the Sharlston line as Holt gets the ball away to Story, and Story's over. Oh, it's absolutely a superb try. Holt picked up from the base of the scrum and fed young Story, creating a little bit of an overlap, and he went round the last defender. And as Holt was pointing towards the sticks, Story just said, I'm over the line and I'm just going to put the ball down and let's get the first try on that board. And it's Hick to just try and sandwich that ball over the sticks, and it was successful. And so Crofton take the lead 6 points to 2 with approximately 20 minutes of the first half gone. So it's Hill to restart for Sharlston. Oh, and that's a terrible mistake to make after Crofton had just scored a try to gain the lead, and it was Hick who's been involved in so much of the first half action. Got everything right, technique right, got right underneath the ball, but dropped it, and it happens so much when your team has just scored a try, you relax. So what can Sharlston do here as Hill puts the ball in? Stan Smith peels off. Stan Smith about 8 metres from the Crofton line. Are Crofton resilient in defence, or will Sharlston find a gap, a hole for someone to sneak through? Golek then just a couple of metres short as Goodfellow there just takes the ball from behind acting half-back. Hill looking to be the first receiver, looking to take on the defence and offloads, and Tony Palmer's there. And Golek, which way will Golek go? And he opts to go with Smith and drops Stan Smith off. The referee's taking a long time, but points to the ground, and Sharlston have replied in quick style, and that will rock Crofton. And as it so very much happens, you know, a team will score a try, relax, they come up with an error, and Sharlston have punished them straight away. It's just what the doctor ordered for the Reds. And Stan Smith, the very experienced player, a Yorkshire Cup winner himself, just gets over to the left-hand side of the post as we look at it. And it's Grundy. Grundy adds the extras. So Sharlston again in the lead, 8 points to 6. A great little move that. Golek just feigning to go one way, drops Stan Smith off, and he attacks the far side of the play, the ball area, and gets over as Hill looks to get under it. The ball's definitely gone backwards. And Sharlston just move up to the 20-metre line. Golek in acting half-back. And this is Pager. Pager runs at Holt. Pulls him down with Garside. And that's Bingham again, setting a good captain's example as Palmer runs centre field and tackled. And we're on the fifth and last tackle, so Hill, I presume, will run at the defence and then kick it over the top. It's a great kick by Phil Hill. Phil Hill's put it into a good area there. It's a great chase from Grundy. But Grundy, yes, he's just managed to grab hold of his man, so it's a good kick chase from Sharlston. I saw them practising that in the warm-up as Hick tries to run off and get some valuable yardage for his team. Again, it's a quick play of the ball and a dart from acting half-back by Richard Evans. Sharlston got the bit between the teeth now, and there's 3 men in the tackle all the time. There's Holt. It's Stephen Holt that runs forward, but look again, it's a ferocious tackling from Sharlston. Richard Pager, he's been in everything. That's a kick downfield, and it's gone into touch. Had a think about trying to catch that ball, and then thought about it and decided to leave it, so it looks as if it'll be a Sharlston feed. Stan Smith did well to get away with that because the crowd was shouting knock on, and I felt that it was a little one as well. So Golek then to Haig. Haig looks to step back inside, but ran straight into Paul Woodcock. Golek to Hill. Hill looking to drop off Palmer. Palmer drops the ball. But I felt there that Phil just probably didn't give enough air on the ball, didn't pop it up for Tony. Tony having to grasp at it, and that's where the mistake came. Storey feeds the scrum, and Bingham pushes off Collinson, but Palmer's out of the scrum quick and gets across. So Crofton posing yet again, another threat. This is Garside. Garside comes forward just outside the 20, centre field. Play can go either way. It's coming to the right, and it's Alexander. Alexander to Woodcock. Woodcock gets Hutchinson, gets the ball. Hutchinson gets away from the first tackler and gives it to the wingman. But it's great scrambling defence. The wingman, Adam Morley, I think it was, who was almost in at the corner, but Sharlston got across to him really well and just pulled him into touch. But it was Hutchinson who got clear from his man, almost got the winger in at the corner. Smith picks up, opts for security and keeps the ball tight under his shirt, but that's good, solid, strong defence from Alexander and Holt, and Hick was in there as well. Golek looking for Goodfellow. A great little dart from Phil Golek. He's a busy little number 9. Looking for Phil Hill. Phil Hill did well to hold on to it. Grundy comes onto it short and almost makes the half break, but Woodcock was in there really strongly to tackle him. Phil Hill looking again to chip the ball over, and almost to the waiting arms of Tony Palmer. But it was Stu Moran, the player coach of the Cougars, who got to it first. He's had a great game as this young fullback. He's in everything. So that's Storey to Garside. Garside runs through and offloads. Storey, can he get away from his man Golek? He can't. It's great defence. This is Bingham, the captain from Crofton. And Golek's in there once again with Richard Pager and the evergreen Tony Palmer. Storey puts a high kick and straight out. Mr. Phil Booth, the touch judge on the far side. So it looks as if it was on the 5th and last, so it's a handover. And Golek will play the ball. And Garside and Tinsley there. And Goodfellow scrambles away from acting halfback, comes centre field. Tinsley chasing across. Working really hard is the left centre. And that's Greenbank. Just on halfway, Golek goes right, dummies, and scampers away and makes a good 10 metres as we're on the 5th and last. So perhaps looking to Hill. And Golek has been given a penalty because somebody gave him a facial. And on the 5th and last tackle, the Crofton coaching staff will definitely not be impressed with that. They'd worked really hard to keep Sharlston to within 40 metres of their line, but now they've given another 6 plays. Page just as the foil. Golek looking to try and get some width into the Sharlston play. The ball went behind the players, and Goodfellow it was that rescued the situation. That's a big hit from Bingham. It would have been if he'd have kept hold, but Heath did extremely well to ride that. And Collinson breaks. Collinson, some really good sidestepping as it gets him into the 20-metre area. Golek then in at acting halfback. Hill looking to offload to Grundy. Grundy, can he go through? It's unfortunate that the pass was forward, because Grundy came and ran a good line there, but the referee was on hand and he was right in line with that, so we can't argue with the official. But Crofton can breathe a sigh of relief. The Story is about to feed the scrum. Holt it is that peels off from the scrum. As often is the case these days, the loose forward tends to pick the ball up from the base of the scrum. And this is Hick. Hick's dangerous every time he gets the ball. And Tinsley in at acting halfback. Tinsley picks his spot, drives straight. But it's Stan Smith and Richard Pager. And that's Lee Garside, who's just on halfway line. And Chris Story looking to find some space out on Sharlston's right. It's a long ball to Bingham. Bingham in that left centre area. But the defence is good, it's sound, it's solid. And at the minute there's no way through for Crofton. But that's a neat little kick from Story. Well picked up from Collinson. But it looks like the touch judge on the opposite side, Mr. Philip Booth, has spotted a knock on. I must admit, it looks suspiciously like one, but thought he'd got away with it. So Sharlston under a little bit of pressure at the moment. I'm making about 35 minutes of the first half gone. It's always a psychological advantage to any team who can score a try just before half time, and Crofton will be striving to do that, and Sharlston will be working the socks off to try and keep them out. It's Hick from the full back slot, just coming in on the right hand side of the field this time. He's been a busy bee for Crofton this afternoon, and it's the wingman coming in and taking a little bit of pressure off his forwards, and that's Adam Morley who scampers to within 8 metres of the line. It's Stuart Moran from acting halfback. Oh, he's only about a metre short. Woodcock in at acting halfback. Which way will it go? It's looking left. And the ball goes out to Story, and Story looks for Garside, and that's a little flick on by Bingham. And this time Phil Booth, the touch judge on that far side, says that was a forward pass. It did come off Bingham's left hand and just went slightly forward, and that's a good decision from the touch judge over there. The match officials so far controlling the game extremely well as Richard Pager leaves the field, and he deserves the round of applause that he gets from those supporters. He's had a brilliant first half, really worked hard, and I think Crofton are making a substitution as well. It looks like Longstaff leaving the field. This is Grundy. Grundy's got pace if he can get clear. Golek looking to attack down the right side. And then Phil Golek's not done a great deal wrong this evening, apart from the odd error, and that was one of them. The pass was far too hard for Palmer and not on target, and that looks suspiciously like a forward pass, but he's in there, Palmer. He's not let that get to him. He's got straight back into it as Storey attacks, and Garside comes on the little drop-off, and he gets rid of the ball in the tackle, and it goes backwards, and it's play on, and it's Moran, looking for his support, but it's not there. And it's Woodcock in at acting half-back. And this is Hick. What can Hick do as he takes the game forward? Bit of a live wire is this full-back, isn't he? And it's Woodcock who scrambles off from acting half-back, but great tackle there from Stan Smith. And it's Storey. What can Storey do? He lets the ball go out to Garside. Garside's got good hands. Holt just passes the ball out. And it's just numbers on the left-hand side of Crofton's attack, the right-hand side of Sharlston defence, which was good, quick hands. It moved from the centre of the field out to Storey, Storey to Holt. Storey to Garside, I believe, and then Garside onto the centre in that corner. And I believe it was Tinsley that was in for Crofton's second try of the evening. From this position, about 10 minutes ago, Hick was successful with that little wedge shot. Will he do the same thing again as he strolls up to the ball? Little wedge. I don't think it's got the legs, has it? It's not. It certainly hasn't got the accuracy either. So 10 points to 8 in Crofton's favour. Almost another mistake. But it's this time that young Chris Storey picks the ball up. Adam Morley comes in off the wing. Comes to centre field. Moran acting half-back. Holt it is that comes onto the ball. But he's met by a posse of Sharlston tacklers, including the captain Palmer and Greenbank. And this is Garside. Garside going forward. This is Storey getting some width in the game as the substitute Matthew Andrews comes onto the ball really strongly, and that's Moran who tries to kick the ball into touch, and that's really well picked up there by Simon Reville. It's actually Robert Simpson, I beg your pardon, and Robert Simpson seems to have taken a heavy knock. Sharlston in the second half will have the advantage of this strong wind at their backs, and Crofton, in fairness, have not used the wind that much in this first half. Will the coaching staff, Brewerton and Bailey, will they advise their team to use the wind during the second half? We'll have to wait and see. Palmer takes the ball towards the Crofton, and the referee has said that Tony Palmer has knocked on, much to the dismay and disappointment of Tony himself. Can't actually believe it, but I think it was the touch judge Phil Bull that gave that decision. So Crofton again, chance with Holt to come away and maybe strike again before half time. For Crofton it would be a fantastic opportunity. For Sharlston it would be a blow as Hick moves the ball out to Storey, and Storey dummies and twists and turns, but he can't get away from Palmer as Moran looks to Andrews to drive the ball forward. The substitute comes on, standing strong in the tackle, and Moran moves the ball to the left where Crofton have had quite a lot of success as Storey passes the ball to Tinsley. I think it was the same combination that scored the try, but nothing for them this time. Hick will take the ball forward, runs at the defence. He has caused Sharlston a lot of problems as Hick with his direct running, as Storey looks to pass the ball and kick it forward. And it's on the fifth and last, and it's well picked up by Phil Hill. And I think that's Ben Grundy. Ben Grundy coming in from the centre spot to try and relieve his forwards, and gets a penalty for his efforts. Decides to pass the ball, and that's experienced Stan Smith there. I think if he had his time to come again on that one, he'd probably opt to kick the ball into touch, although he was probably looking at the time left in the first half and maybe trying to catch Crofton unawares. It seems to have backfired him on a little bit. Holt again picks up from the base of the scrum, and that's the end of the first half. On reflection, only 2 points in it. It is very close. As I said to you before, neither side have given any quarter or asked any quarter, but Crofton, with that try just before half time, they are now in the ascendancy. I think the latter half of the first half, the game did swing in Crofton's direction, and in particular the attacks down Sharlston's right, and that's where most of the damage has been caused this evening. So I think John Brewerton, when he goes in for the half-time cup of tea, will be saying to the right-hand side of defence that we need to tidy and tighten that up. And we'll see you very shortly for the second half. So the wind behind Sharlston's back in this second half. It'll be Phil Hill to restart the game. Sharlston, remember, 10-8 down in this Build-Based Cup final here at Bellevue. And there's an indication there of just how strong the wind is as the Crofton player, Hick, goes back to collect. He's been outstanding. He's got to be a contender for the man of the match. And this is Garside. Garside takes the ball forward, but strongly met by a posse of Sharlston tacklers. Goodfellow, Grundy, and Heath, who was just a bit too keen and eager to get across to try and catch Holt. And you can't drop off tackles like that. So Crofton with a little drop-off ball to Holt. Sorry, it's Bingham, the captain. He's had an exceptional game. I think possibly 2 people or 3 people out of the Crofton side so far. If you look at Story, who's just kicked that ball there into touch, you look at Bingham, you look at Holt, and you look at this man Hick. All possible contenders for the man of the match. Hill's had a good game. Richard Pager when he was on for Sharlston. And you'll be looking for exceptional performances from those types of players if you're going to win a cup final. And this is Collinson. Collinson can step off that left leg. Did show in the first half when he made a big forage into the Crofton 20-metre zone. And that's Alexander, and it's Tinsley, the try scorer, in at the tackle as Golek. Feeds Gary Cross, and Gary Cross just 40 metres out. Hill looks to the short ball. Good fella came onto the ball well, and if he'd have just had some support on his left hand side there, Sharlston could have been way down into the Crofton half of the field as Palmer takes it up. But well met by the Crofton substitute, Greg Dickey. And the kick from Hill was straight down into the arms of one of the Crofton players. As Hick again runs across the field. Tries to get round the outside of Simpson. Couldn't do that. And Moran urging his player to get up and play the ball as Garside comes on a little drop-off move and beats the first defender, but just couldn't get away from Golek. And this is Dickey again. Dickey runs into Grundy. Grundy brings him down. And this is Stephen Holt. Stephen Holt can run. Can Stephen Holt get over? That's a great clean break. That's the first clean break of the evening's play. Stephen Holt was absolutely in full flight. Fifth and last tackle, because it looks to me as if Sharlston have got the handover. So that'll be a big relief. Because the last thing that Sharlston want is to concede a try in the first few minutes of the second half. But Crofton, I must say, have got the bit between the teeth and are looking the better side at the moment. So it's up to Sharlston to respond. As Golek moves into acting half-back. And Sharlston managed to get towards the 20-metre line, but it's strong and it's face tackling from Crofton. Holding the man up in the tackle, driving him back. Golek looks to Palmer. Palmer steps back inside. Tinsley's been strong in defence as well. Golek looks to drop off Stan Smith. Stan Smith's got a nice turn of pace, just couldn't get away, lost his footing. It'd have been interesting to see if Stan Smith had got clear, whether those old legs would have taken him through, as Hill just looking for some support, maybe looking for a space in the defence, but it wasn't there, as Haig looks to put the ball down deep inside the Crofton 20. Just the bounce doesn't favour the Sharlston defenders, as Crofton through wingman Evans rescue the situation. And look at this guy, Hick, is he going to get away? He's not going to get away, but he's brought his side right up to halfway line. And that's Matthew Andrews. Hick it is in acting half-back. And he looks for Story, and Story to Alexander, and Garside looking for Holt. That's all Crofton at the moment, and to be fair, Sharlston are hanging on, and so much so that they've actually given a penalty away for holding down. Carl Wormold trying to gain a few valuable seconds for his defence to get back in position, and in doing so gives the penalty away. So Crofton now, they're deep inside Sharlston territory, and they're looking good at the moment, getting some width from the two half-backs and bringing the likes of Garside and Holt striking at the smaller players on the fringes. And it's Garside looking to offload to Holt. Can Holt get away? He can't. It's Grundy this time that brings him down. Quite solid in the tackle was Grundy, and he's hurt Stephen Holt a little bit. But he's all right. He's up and running. Crofton then getting ever closer to the sticks, and this is Moran. Moran just not able to find a hole. As Sharlston look to go down with Garside. Garside comes back. Thought about the drop goal for a second. Thought better off it. We're on the fifth and last tackle. It looks as if it's going to move to the left. And he's dummied and gone over as Moran. Oh, tremendous play from the experienced Stuart Moran, the player coach. Looked to shift it pretty quickly to the left. Came back to the right and caught the defenders on the left-hand side of the ruck there, fast asleep. And he manages to get over, and that's a desperate try that Crofton wanted with all the attack that they had there over the last 5-10 minutes of this second half, should I say. And they've come up with the try. Sharlston didn't need that. They're already 10-8 down. And they needed to gain some ascendancy in the game, but it's just been given at the minute to Crofton. And it's Hick, this very dangerous runner, who's converted the try by Moran. And that puts Crofton 16-8 up. Hill then just tries the little chip over, puts some backspin on it as Golek goes for it. Oh, crikey. Really followed through there, did Phil Golek. Lee Garside tried to drop on the ball. Great chase from the hooker. But Crofton seem to be getting a firm grip on this game now. And that's Bingham, the captain, coming away from acting half-back. Golek and Goodfellow in at the tackle. Tinsley running away. Can't get away from Golek, although he's got rid of the ball in the tackle, and it's Moran. Moran, the little chip over the top. Who's got the pace? That's great work from the wingman, Heath. But it was Moran, the player coach, who was hot on his heels, trying to force the error. Sharlston certainly under the cosh at the moment. Golek to Hill. What can Hill do? That's a great tackle from Matthew Andrews. Man on ball as Haig looks to chip it over the top, but straight into the hands of Tinsley. Tinsley gets away from Hill. And the wingman Evans then just trying to catch the markers napping. Tinsley brings the ball in field. Just setting up a good platform. It's going to go wide now from Story to Alexander, and that's where Crofton are going to strike out wide. That's what it looks like to me. The ball is going towards the right-hand side of Crofton's attack. And this is Hick. Hick runs off again, almost through the defence. He's been a thorn in Sharlston's side this evening as this young man. Story then looking to drop the goal, and I think it's just gone wide, just to the left-hand side of the sticks. So young Chris Story saw an opportunity there to just stick another 1 point on, and just failed as it brushed the left hand upright. But there's no way through this Crofton defence at the minute as they're camped in the Sharlston half of the field. Sharlston desperately looking for some inspiration. And can they get it from Cross? As he's brought down just on the 40. Golek looking to feed Smith. Smith looking to just get over halfway line. Golek again. Quick play the ball. Looking to try and find a way through. Garside a little bit reckless in the tackle there. As Golek brings his side down to about 30 metres out. It's Hill. What can Hill do? Little kick forward, but straight into the hands of young Chris Story. He's got some pace as the young lad. Just lucky to get away with fumbling the ball, but according to referee Mr. Greenegg, it went in the backwards direction. Therefore wasn't a knock on. He allowed play to carry on. That's a little bit better from Sharlston. They can take heart from the way in which they're actually defending now that they're down in this area of the field. But this Hick, crikey, he's got through a great deal of work to this evening. So Story to Garside, looking to maybe ship it inside, and he has. He's got it inside. But the referee, with some assistance again from touch judge, saying that there's an error in there. A knock on. Head and feed Sharlston. So Sharlston then inside the Crofton half. Really need something soon, Sharlston. They've certainly got to be the next point scorers if they're going to get anything out of this game. It's a strong run, but an equally strong tackle from Hick. Went in with some fierceness into the tackle. And Lee Kelly it was that spilt the ball. Therefore, play swings back into Crofton's favour once again. And that's Alexander. Alexander taking the ball up just to the 40-metre area. That's a great run. From Adam Morley. And Crofton seem to be finding chinks in the Sharlston armour. A quick pick up from Woodcock. Woodcock running across. And this assault coming on the charge as he straightens up. Offloads the ball. This is good play from Crofton. Back to Woodcock. Woodcock, did he manage to find a hole? No, he hasn't. But Crofton through Story in at acting half-back in a very dangerous situation. He runs off. Feeds the ball out. And Crofton once more get in the corner. Story scampered away from acting half-back. Lovely long pass there to I think it was the wingman, Adam Morley, and I think Adam Morley has got in at the corner. The touch judge had no hesitation. It's Hick with the wind in his face. Needs to really thump the ball. And it's just gone to the right-hand side of the post. So, Crofton 20, Sharlston Rovers 8. 12 points the difference, 2 converted scores. It's what fairy tales are made of. It's what finals are made of. You know, Sharlston, if they don't let the heads go down and get some consistency back in the play, who knows? But they need to score quick. And they need to get back into this game pretty quickly. And defence like that goes a long way. So Sharlston moving up pretty quick. But Bingham's had a sound game. And this is Holt. Holt coming forward. Takes some stopping. Stephen Holt. He's had a fine game. Along with Hick and Story. That's a great hit by Ben Grundy. The big forward felt that. Longstaff. This is Hick again. Just steps off that right foot and almost finds a way through, but crosses there. And Hick, has he injured himself or has he just got a little bit of cramp? The way that it's looking is a little bit of cramp. Let's hope that the injury is not too serious as Chris Story looks for some open space. And he's found it, and he's found his touch. You can't ask any more from your half-back when he finds his touch. So Sharlston in desperate need of some inspiration now. The question is, who's going to stand up and be counted, and who's going to take the game forward? Tinsley strong, but just pushed off in that instance as Golek gets the ball, and then there's some ill discipline there at the play the ball area, and that's given Crofton the chance to have another strike at the Sharlston line, and that's something that Sharlston can well do without at this stage. Bingham. Inspirational captain's knock today from that lad. You can see how really fired up they are as Davis comes forward and takes the ball up to just outside the Sharlston 20. Crofton again attacking on the right hand side as Garside goes forward. He had a runner on his outside, didn't use him. Longstaff sees the whitewash and goes tearing towards it, but the Sharlston defence is strong. Story then plays to Alexander. Alexander looks towards Hick. Hick then to Woodcock. Woodcock looks for Tinsley. Tinsley, he steps back inside, gets it back to Woodcock, and the referee spots a forward pass. It did look suspiciously like a forward pass to me. But not frightened Crofton to throw the ball about. They're attacking down the Sharlston right again there. They did have a great deal of success, if we remember, in the first half. Scoring a couple of tries down that side. And Crofton certainly got the bit between the teeth, haven't they? Just look at the ferociousness of that tackling. That's a great strong run. That's what the Sharlston players will take heart from. Runs like that. That's Palmer. Yes, and I felt it was too. I felt that Bingham, he's tackled really strongly all game, but in that instance he's got his technique all wrong. And I think he took Tony Palmer, the Sharlston captain, a little bit high. And the referee was right to penalise him. As Hill puts the ball down towards the Crofton 30 area. Phil Golek looking to restart the game then. So Sharlston then, can they get something from this forage into the Crofton zone, into the red zone? They're about 15 metres from the Crofton line, through Golek. Palmer looks to run off and look for his support, but it's not there. Golek has been one of the highlights of the Sharlston side this evening as he goes back towards the left-hand side. Stan Smith drops off. The crowd urging the team on. Can they get over? The answer's no at the moment. The Crofton defence is strong. Golek, who's he looking forward to? He's looking for Stan Smith. Stan Smith gets the ball away in the tackle. And that's the fifth and last tackle. OK, you know, Sharlston really worked hard and kept possession. And so Crofton have got to come away from their own line. And it all depends now whether Sharlston can really up the tempo in the defensive duties and keep Crofton down inside their own 20. And that's what they've got to do, so that when the kick comes, they're going to receive it roughly about 40 metres away from their own line. But they can't afford to let people run from acting half-back like that. I just feel at the minute that Sharlston are struggling, not getting out of the blocks quick enough. As Holt then attacks them. Oh, that's a great tackle. We've got an injury there, I feel, to one of the Sharlston players. And this is Hick. He'll test the defence. That's Davis who takes the ball on the run. It looks as if he's knocked on, and he has. And there's a stoppage in play. It looks as if the Sharlston substitution, Jamie Lawson, substitute should I say, Jamie Lawson looks a bit weary. Oh, and struggling to keep his feet. Obviously took a little bit of a blow to the head there. They're all tough, these rugby players. Can't stand those little knocks. But time's ticking away for Sharlston, and they need something pretty quickly. As Stan Smith looks for the hole. It's not there. Golek to Greenbank. Greenbank looks to try and break through this Crofton defence, which has been well marshalled. It looks well balanced as well, as Cross looks to break through and can't. Golek, can he set something up here as he looks to his right? Looks a bit one-man rugby-ish from Sharlston at the minute. The half-backs need to take control and try and organise something. As Golek steps away from acting half-back once more. I think we're on the 5th and last tackle. Needs some creative play as Phil Hill looks to Stan Smith. Stan Smith looks to kick the ball through. And a little bit too heavy with the kick there, and Sharlston, to be fair, look a little bit void of the ideas to open this Crofton defence, especially when they get into that 20 area. And if you're going to win finals, you need somebody, as I said earlier, to step up and unlock the door. And they just don't seem to have anybody on the field at the minute that can do that. Whereas Crofton are running hot with the likes of Hick and Story and Alexander and Holt. And they're finding it really difficult to contain those 4 at the minute. Everything seems to be coming off those 4 players. And here's one of them, Stephen Holt. Had a great game from loose forward. He's a contender for the man of the match along with Hick. I have a serious thought that it'll be one of those 2 that takes the man of the match. Young Story was in contention at one time, and perhaps just a few unforced errors have just nudged his nose out. But Crofton at the minute, definitely the better side. Sharlston hanging on really, as the influential skipper Tony Palmer leaves the field of play. Great captain's knock from Tony, 43 years of age, sets a great example. Back on the field is Richard Pager. Richard Pager coming for his first action of the second half, but Woodcock was there. Good second rows tackle as Stan Smith drops off the wingman Heath, and Heath looks to break clear. If Sharlston could get a try, who knows? It would be really in the melting pot. He's got rid of the ball, so it's Greenbank. Greenbank still going. It is 5th and last. So Golek to Hill. What will Hill do? Hill sees Pager. Pager on the charge. Can he get over? Oh, he's held up. And with it being the last tackle, it's the handover. And the referee will take it 10 metres out. It's not the 5th and last tackle. It must have been the 4th play. This must be the 5th and last tackle, is it? Yeah, I must have lost the marbles out of my pocket. As Golek tries to find Cross on the little charge. Golek looking to go to Hill. Hill looking to kick it through. It's a chase. And the Crofton man's just there first. So it'll be a drop out from underneath the sticks. And can Sharlston get over quickly? It's not gone very far. They need to catch this clean. Stan Smith underneath it. Stan will take the ball back. He's got some pace as Stan, and he almost breaks through. So Sharlston have got 5 tackles from here in which to build a platform and maybe get over the try line as Golek goes forward. Tinsley is in at the tackle. So that's 3 gone. And within about 6 metres of the Crofton line. How desperate are Sharlston to score here? And that's Hill. Hill looks to step and tries to get away, but he can't. All Crofton defenders around him. Haig's in at acting half-back. What can Haig do? He goes to the short side. Oh, my goodness. So often is the case that there's quite a lot of space on the left-hand side there. And people will continue to go down the short side where there's a lot of numbers. So Sharlston lucky to get away with the... Well, I thought it was a knock-on. To be fair, the referee has given Sharlston another chance, saying that there was some interference at the play of the ball. So Golek will pass the ball surely to Hill, and they'll perhaps try and move it wide, will they? They've not done that. Phil Golek's opted to keep hold of it. A wasted tackle for me. So it's Hill in at acting half back to Pager. Pager, what can Pager do? He's tackled 6 metres from the line. Golek in. Looks to Haig. Haig, little step, short step. Almost got over the line. So looking to play it wide as Hill plays the ball long. Can he get over the try line? Oh, it's great scrambling defence from Crofton. I thought that it was nailed on a try scorer there. And still looking to keep it around that ruck area when people are screaming for the ball to go wide. Another penalty for Sharlston for interference at the play of the ball. Great pressure from Sharlston, but they need to turn the pressure into points. They've got Crofton with 2 men covering the whole of this 50 metres outside the right hand post as I look now. It's probably just out of your camera shot. Sharlston going to attack that area through Phil Hill to Haig. Haig just steps, gets the ball away. It's Heath. What can Heath do? Running back to where the ball originally came from. Run 50 metres laterally, but not forward, but gets the ball away. In fairness to him, Sharlston looking to try and score under the sticks. It would be great for the game if they could do that. Phil Golek looking to Hill. What can Hill do here? He's got to go long. Short ball to Haig. Great try. Now then, we've got a game, especially if Sharlston can convert. Very brave there. Haig coming on to Hill's short pass, getting over about 10 to 15 metres just outside the right-hand sticks, but immense pressure. Crofton just couldn't stand it any longer as Hill looks to tag on the extra 2. He's missed it. He's missed it, so to be honest, Sharlston have got to really work hard now. 20 points to 12, so there's 8 points in it. Who knows if they can score a quick try, but Crofton, perhaps they feel that they've done enough. They're not in a great deal of hurry to get to the halfway line. I think the referee will have to stop the game, or stop the clock, should I say. Yes, he's looking at his watch right now. The question is, as we enter the last 10 minutes, have Crofton done enough? Or is that try the inspiration that Sharlston needed to search forward and try and gain another try from the likes of Haig? And that's a great run from Pager. Impressed me in the first half, did Richard Pager. And that's another good spurt from acting half-back. But he's lost the ball. Has he lost the ball? Knock on. So, presuming that the Crofton man put his hand in the way, which he did, Sharlston will get head and feed. I know, certainly, as the game approaches the last 10 minutes and you're perhaps just above a try score away from gaining the lead, then you've got to sort of throw caution to the wind a little bit, try your luck and see what you can come up with. Halfway line for Sharlston. Golek in to Pager. Pager taking the ball forward and only knows which way to go, Rich Pager. Golek again looking to feed Hill, but this time it's the big forward, Jamie Lawson. Jamie Lawson brings the team to the 40 metre line. Stan Smith trying to attack the short side, but Crofton were alert to it. We're on the 5th and last tackle. Hill looking forward, looking to kick over the top. Has he put it? He hasn't put it short of Hick. He's put it into the arms of Jeff Hick, who's had an outstanding game. I still feel that Hick and Holt will battle it out for the man of the match. But it's Tinsley at this moment that takes the ball forward for Crofton. The time is ticking away. Crofton are 8 points clear. That's a great run from Longstaff Longstaff taking his team into the Sharlston half. And this is Holt. Holt charges through, gets the ball away. Oh, that's up superb rugby to Woodcock. Woodcock checks, comes back the other way, but runs into a Sharlston defender who was coming back. If the ball had come to the left-hand side of the field as we look at it, who knows? Story looks for a drop goal. Is it successful this time? The referee says yes. And to be perfectly honest, that could be the ball game for Crofton. Story took stock of the situation, found himself in acres of space, stood back, superb right-legged kick, should I say, over the sticks for a field goal. So Sharlston just need a little bit of luck. Story collects. Adam Morley then. Adam Morley tries to get down the short side, but the defence is on top of him. Holt once more, just steps off the left leg, goes into a 4 or 5 Sharlston tacklers. Not been frightened to take the ball forward, Stephen Holt. As Garside steps forward, looks to pass to Hick. Hick looking to offload, is he? Can he offload? No, he can't. That's a great tackle from Haig. Hick was what you could call unceremoniously pounded into the ground. Oops, a little pass over his own line. Quite dangerous play, really. Heath just brings it away. And this is Simpson. Simpson looking to bring the ball wide. Try and get skirt round the outside of the defenders. It's not happened this time. Golek bringing it forward. Stan Smith feeds Hill. Hill looks to see if there's an opening and there isn't. Golek once more. He has this burning ambition inside him to do well in every game, does Phil Golek. And he's trying to take his men forward. As Hick looks to round the defender and can't do so. Great tackle from Lee Kelly. But this is Chris Davis. And Chris Davis is into touch. And that's the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Crofton Cougars are the winners of the Build Base Cup final. And in fairness, during this second half, they did take control. And through the likes of Hick, Holt, and the two half-backs, Alexander and Story, and the persistent running of the two forwards in Garside and Longstaff, I think were just a little bit too strong for the Sharlston outfit. Great performances though from Sharlston's Phil Golek. Phil Hill with his tactical kicking. Some great passages of play which ended up in a try for Haig. Just weren't enough at the end of the day. Crofton Cougars were, in my view, the stronger team in the second half. And at the end of the day, thoroughly deserved their victory. So it's congratulations to the Crofton Cougars. Commiserations to Sharlston Rovers, who have done extremely well. I think they came into this game as the underdogs. And Crofton Cougars were just a little bit too strong for them. As celebrations take place on the field, Moran there with the water just tipped over him, but he won't be bothered about that. So Bingham, who also had an outstanding game, is the captain of Crofton Cougars, and he will collect the trophy for Crofton. But in the first instance, and led by captain Tony Palmer, the losers, Sharlston Rovers A, will collect their trophies. And I must say, thoroughly deserved the round of applause from the spectators this evening. And to be fair, it has been a really good turnout by the Crofton and Sharlston supporters supporting their teams. And up comes Chris Bingham to take the trophy. Crofton Cougars, the winners of the Build Base Cup final here at Bellevue. It's been a very, very entertaining evening of rugby league football, and nobody can argue the fact that both teams contributed to a fantastic game. But congratulations to Crofton Cougars on their victory this evening. And up goes the trophy to a big cheer from the crowd, and that will go in the cabinet, as Stu Moran said. And it's a big thank you to all the hard work and the effort that the backroom staff at Crofton Cougars have been putting in, and I'm sure the celebrations will go on long into this evening. Stuart, you've obviously won the final. What a moment it must be for you.
Oh, brilliant move. I can't describe it. Just buzzing all the time, like I said before. Buzzing, players were buzzing, they were up for it. Big hard game. All credit to Tony's side, but very big hard game. Right, delighted, and another drunken piss up for us then at the end of the day. That's 2 cups in final.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did mention that this young full-back Hick was a bit of an handful for people. I thought he was outstanding. I think he's a contender of the man of the match. Would you go along with that?
Yes, him and that veteran player at number 13, Steve Holt, brilliant player. But 1 to 17, they've all joined in. We've all had a good game. But if it were down to me, it'd be 13 who got man at match with Jeff a close run. Last 4 games we've played in league, Jeff Hick's got man at match the last 4 weeks. Probably deserves it today, but Steve Holt to me is my man at match. But end of the day, it's not down to me who picks it.
Well, just before the final whistle, I pinpointed out that Jeff Hick, possibly Steve Holt, certainly well supported by the 2 halfbacks. I thought your halfbacks controlled the game. You had a lot of width, and you caught Sharlston out wide on a couple of occasions. Have you worked on that?
I've worked all season. That's why we've only lost 2 games in the league up to now, and that's what we've done. If we can't beat him down middle, we go out wide. We've got fast backs out wide, and everybody joins in together. So end of the day, I'm happy for myself, for club and all players and all spectators. They've all joined in with us. They followed us, had a good follow. Even crowd today, but end of the day, enjoyed it. And I'll put rest of the season, hopefully get it top 4, another final. That'll be even harder whoever play.
Well, Chris, congratulations. A great victory for Crofton. I think it was a great captain's knock. Just before the end of the game, I did say that there were quite a few contenders for the man of the match. One was Steve Holt, who had an outstanding game. The other one was Jeff Hick, running tremendously from fullback. But today, Chris, and you've thoroughly deserved it. It was certainly a lot of defence work that you've done. You've been today's man of the match. But how do you feel about the whole performance of the team and the win in this cup final today?
It's great. It's good to see Crofton winning again. It's good to see us all sticking together, and we put a good performance. The defence were awesome today. We stuck together, and we stuck to the game plan, played safe.
And do you feel that Stu's brought some, because obviously he's had a lot of time in the game from Westgate, he's a very experienced player and coach, and the lads have obviously responded to what he's been teaching them this year? Yeah,
he's brought a really good atmosphere with him. He's brought it all together. Everybody's got up for it since Stu's come. Everybody's attitude's changed, and they've knuckled down. They've got down training. He's just brought a lot of enthusiasm to the team, and just brought us all together out at the team, and together. It's been been good having him with us.
Yeah. And if you felt that you were inspired by anybody today, did anybody really do it for you today? You know, in your side, like Jeffick was running from acting half, well, not from acting half back, but just in general play, was a general thorn in anybody's side. Did you feel that you were well supported by anybody?
Yeah, Paul Tinsley on centre. Yeah, he always tackles, runs. He's always by my side. If I miss out, he's always there to cover it up. And I think he played outstanding today, Paul Tinsley.
Yeah, I think you had plenty of success down your left-hand side, their right-hand side. And that was where the gaps were. And you did both work together well. I thought Holty had a great game at loose forward.
Yeah, Holty, Jeff. I mean, the usual. That everybody played outstanding, but yeah, Holty, Jeff, Paul Tinsley did stand out, and everybody buckled down and played well.
And I asked Stuart before the game in the pre-match interview. There's a lot of hard work gone on behind the scenes at Crofton. The committee staff and everybody have really, really worked hard to get this team up and running. So, what do you think it might mean for them this evening?
Oh, it's just a big plus for us to get back on top, winning. And we won league last week, and we've won this cup, and it's great to see the committee on high. It's great to see us winning for them because they deserve it. Because all effort they put in, charity work and all that, raising money for us. It's just great to win it for them.
Well, that's absolutely superb. It's great from the playing staff to have the respect for the committee, and the committee to have the respect from the players. But the main thing tonight is congratulations on the win, and certainly congratulations on a man of the match performance.
Cheers.
Cheers.